Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. This is the Amirabella Shante channel. I am Shante. Tonight I'm going to do something a little bit differently, whether you're listening to this during the daytime or in the evening. I've actually been creating some YouTube videos with the fire playing because I really like the sound of the crackling of the fireplace, right? And because I'm doing this in the evening, it kind of sets the mood for me. But this will be my first episode that will be unscripted. I just kind of wanted to talk to you about something that's on my mind. So, normally on this channel, I talk about home business ideas that you can do from home. Well, obviously, I guess home business ideas, but businesses that you can start from home, even if it's just something on the side like freelancing, or if you're looking to actually develop a business that you can even live off of or use as a supplemental income. But I do have halal-based ideas. This is Islamic friendly because I am a Muslim. So I also wanted to touch on some things that might be relevant to other Muslims. So whether you are a revert who has converted to Islam, or if you are a Muslim who was born a Muslim, but I don't know. I mean, I live here in the United States, so if you also live here, we know this is not a Muslim country, and with some things, it can be kind of isolating, and not just isolating, but anxiety inducing. Not even just from a deen perspective, but from a lot of things that are going on in the world right now. And so I feel that it's really important now more than ever to make sure that we have a firm connection, with Allah and our deen. Not just in, making money, like I said, what I primarily talk about, but this kind of starts with, yourself, like being comfortable with yourself and who you are, because this plays a huge role when it comes to business. I know that when I go to do certain things in business, I have let a certain level of anxiety or fear stop me from doing something that I know that I should be doing that's going to help me to be successful and reach more people and reach more clients and grow my business, the one that I have with my husband and the one that I have on my own. But I've stopped myself and I don't even know what to describe it as, but it's like this very crippling energy where it's like, nope, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I don't know if it's, I don't know what people will say, or I don't know if this thing will be rejected. But I have recently taken on the practice of meditating. And I've noticed that when I meditate and I allow myself to clear my mind, you can meditate for different reasons, right? So you kind of set the tone for it, decide what this meditation is going to be about, and focus your mind. And I knew that I had to make some calls. So I decided to try to get those fears and that negative energy under control. And so I decided to meditate before I started my actual work day. And when I did that, I kind of did a meditation to, slow down my breathing, focus my breathing, focus my mind. And then I kind of made some du'as to Allah. And as I was making dua, there was just something that was happening. I was making dhikr, I was making dua, and I was just talking to Allah. I was just having a conversation and reminding myself during that conversation that there's no reason for me to be afraid of anything because the risk or the sustenance comes from Allah. Allah is the provider. And there is nothing that we should be afraid of, period, except Allah. And things will move the way that they're supposed to according to what is for you. And so I just kind of told myself while I was having that conversation that, guide me in this phone call, guide me in these calls, these things that I'm going to do. And, asking Allah for abundance in the things that are good for me and that are halal for me and my family. And I just kind of came to this epiphany that what is it that I'm afraid of? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves questions to get to the core of what's actually happening. And I I was asking myself, what is it that I'm so crippled by? Like, what could happen by me making a phone call? What's going to happen? Either I'm going to ask someone if, they need this service, and they're either going to tell me yes, they do, or no, they don't. And then at the end of the day, it's business. It's not personal, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, I'm offering them something that will help benefit them while it benefits me, but either they will need it or they won't. So that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. And so when I had that epiphany, I was just like, in Islam, we know that we can make dua to Allah, and Allah will answer our duas according to what is best for us. It doesn't matter what we're asking for, what we think is best for us. Allah loves, He loves us, and He's going to guide us in the direction of what is best for us. And so if Allah is allowing this thing to happen, allowing this relationship to be developed, this business relationship, then it is because it is what's good for me and my family and our company. And if for some reason that doesn't happen, it was something that didn't need to happen because it's not for us. And I may not know why, but that's just what it is. And I'm kind of a firm believer in, whatever is happening, either you can do something about it or you can't. Either it's here or it's not. Like, no sense in crying over spilled milk, right? If there's something you can do about a situation, then you can do it. But if your hands are tied, they're tied. When it comes to you putting yourself out there to see if somebody wants to do business with you, your hands are slightly tied, because it's like either they're going to say yes and they're going to, or they're not. And even if it's a not, it's not always personal. It could just be literally, maybe they just don't need this thing, or maybe they just don't need this thing right now. So this was something that was important for me to share. Not just the epiphany that I had, because that's important. Is this thing even really good for me? Or is there something behind the scenes happening that I don't see? But not only that, just the act of going out and doing it in the first place. Me meditating and allowing myself to just calm down and slow down and figure out how to approach the situation allowed me to actually do it. Did I acquire a customer that day? No. But I had at least 2 people who, they were not, nobody was mean or aggressive. There was no bad energy. It was just, oh, hey, just in case I do need you, go ahead and send me an email so I have your information, To me, that's positive. There was something that happened there. Now, does that mean that we're going to work together in the future? No, but it is a potential. And it was only a potential because I took the step that I needed to get in touch with this person, with this business. So me, and I can't even describe it. I was literally so nervous, and even when I was done meditating and I was making my calls and I felt nervous in my mind, I was just reminding myself, calm down, kind of breathe in about 3 seconds, breathe out about 6 seconds, kind of double the time. And just remember, if it's supposed to happen, it's going to. And if it's not, it's not going to. Either they're going to need it or they're not going to need it. But this is not a big deal. I had to get in my head and tell myself that. Because this is 1 out of a million anyways. When you do business with people, it doesn't really matter what field you're in. If you're going to be able to make money, it's because there are a certain number of people who need your service, right? So another thing to remember is that this is kind of like a 1 in a million. You have a million options, and this is just one that you're talking to. So if they say no, you still have several 100,000 more to go, to go through all of these people before it's just, okay, this thing is just not happening at all. There are always other possibilities out there. So it's important for us to focus on the things that we can control, and to do the best that we can to show up, to be able to present ourselves the way we want to, and to be able to work with the people that we want to work with. Nothing's going to be handed to us, obviously. We're working for everything. We're going to do our best, and either our best is going to be good enough for whoever this person is or this company is, or it's not. And if it's not, then you just move on to the next one. And it's okay to take time. It's okay to, literally my goal was, okay, call at least 3 people. And I called at least 3 people, and then I stopped. That was it for the end of the day. I was like, okay, this is a big deal for me. I'm not used to doing this thing, and it is overwhelming. And it's taken me a lot physically just to actually do it. So I did what I set out to do, what my goal was, and then I stopped. And then you know what? The next day, now it's going to be time to revisit that and have a new goal. But the point was, it was a big accomplishment to be able to do it in the first place, to be able to just like pretty much cold call somebody in the first place. So we have goals that we're going to be trying to reach, right? I am a big fan of visualization, right? Getting inside your own head and showing up as the person that you want to be, no matter what it is, whether it's in your dean, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your business. Getting to know that person and familiarize yourself with that person and that role and stepping into those shoes, right? So being afraid or anxious or whatever it is to not do something that's going to help propel you and move you forward will not do you any justice. We need to come up with ways to where we can get those things under control, because it's a mind game. Get your mind under control, okay? One thing that I decided to do to get my mind under control was to meditate. It's something that I've been doing for a while now, and I really like it. And not only that, I see the benefits in it, and I think that it's helpful. I'll dive into that a little bit more maybe in the next conversation as far as how that goes, and maybe even do some guided meditations. But look into it, see if it's something that you might be interested in. To me, it's like on the same level as taking medication, because when you're doing it and you allow yourself to be in that zone, like, that's the type of power that it gives you. And I want you to understand that that power is with you, and it is in your mind. Like, you have that power. Nobody else has that. You do. So you have to show up and do what you need to do to get these things under control, because there's nobody else who's going to be more invested in your future than you are. And there's nobody else who is going to be able to walk in those shoes and do those things that need to be done and show up except you. You have to get to a point where you can do that. So if there are things that are holding you back, you have to get to the place where you can stop those things, stop those thoughts, stop those actions. And you have to reroute, learn new habits. Even if you do it little by little, setting little milestones and little goals like I did, just 3 phone calls and I'm done. I don't care if it's still 5 hours left in the workday or whatever it is that I should be doing. I'm going to go do something else. But this thing that's hard for me, I'm going to set a reasonable goal that I can, attain. And then I'm going to do that thing. And because I did that, guess what? Now, when it's time for me to make the call again, I feel more comfortable. I have more of a flow. I know what it is I'm going to say. I know what I could expect for somebody else to say on the other end. So now it's not as intimidating, right? Sometimes you have to force yourself to step through that door so that you can go to those places that you want to go to. That's kind of all that I wanted to touch on today. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more probably about the meditating aspect, just because I think that it's been very helpful for me, and I could see it being helpful for somebody else. But as for now, I'm just going to close this out by saying that whoever you are, whoever's listening to this, you are pretty awesome. If nobody else told you that today, you are beautiful, you are worthy, and whatever it is that you want, if you're willing to work for it, you deserve it. So don't let fear of anything hold you back, because there's nothing worse in this life than regret. And I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard somebody say, you will never be as young as you are right now today in this moment. So don't waste time in your life based off of things that you can't control, based off of things that other people have said or will say, or how people will look at you, or how you think you might feel because of this person or that person. This is your life. This is your life to live. Again, this is not just about business. This is about you improving yourself, giving yourself the best quality of life. And if you need help opening that up and trying to figure out what it is that is blocking you and what you need to do to move forward, reach out to me so that I can see if there's anything that I can do to help you move past that so that you can reach what it is that you're trying to reach in your life, as far as your life goals, your business goals, getting closer to Allah, learning more about your deen, especially, like I said, if you're a revert. I am, and I understand that world. I understand living in a world that this thing is this way and this is how you've learned it, and now you feel guided to do something different. Your path has shifted a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go now for real this time. Like I said, this was unscripted, but I just kind of had that on my heart to say. So I want you to be well. I want you to have peace. And Allah said, in the remembrance of Him, we do find peace. Our hearts find peace. And I have felt that and experienced that so many times. And I want you to feel that and experience that as well. So reach out to me if you need to. And I would love to hear from you if you have any questions or anything. But other than that, you guys have a good day or night wherever you're at in the world. And I will talk to you next time. Assalamu alaikum.